Welcome back to the Daily Vedantic. And I just hit my knee. But seeing the end in the beginning, it'll stop hurting after a minute or two. And that, hashtag Vedanta, that's application of philosophy in the midst of injury. Just banged the heck out of my knee and still hurts, but it won't hurt in a few minutes. And as they say, our entire realities come down to what we give our attention to. So I'm going to use the power of my intellect to try and focus my attention on you and this daily reflection. But rivers do not turn at 90-degree angles, so it might take a few seconds before I can actually start to move my attention there. Today's daily reflection is, I wonder if there's a way to actually tie this in. A little bit. I'm seeing some daylight here. Maybe not. We'll see. But today's reflection that I outlined that I want to talk about with you is on divine discomfort. Divine discomfort, that is that period of time, that experience when you know you're doing something for a higher ideal, where your lower ideal might suffer, where you are, let's say, reorienting why you're doing what you're doing for your coworkers, for the ever-expanding ring of identification, instead of just pursuing name, fame, wealth, position for you. Maybe you're pursuing your professional career for your family, to do a great job, to do it for the satisfaction of mastering a craft, to do it for your community, your state, your country, humanity, all living beings. This is this ever-expanding ring of identification that Swami Parthasarathi will talk about often. And in fact, it's one of the greatest, such a easy plug for, if you go to vedantaworld.org, we'll put it in the show notes, his daily lectures. It just cultivates, it's like a systematic approach to aligning one's life where it just happens without even trying, where you start to grow in your identification with those around you. And it doesn't just stop at the four walls of your home and your family. It just keeps going. But there is this divine discomfort whenever we are reorienting to a higher ideal. This feeling of like, wait, what's going to happen to me? If I start doing my work for my coworkers, for the mission of the company, well, who's going to look out for me? That is the divine discomfort. That is that reorientation of your attention on yourself towards that higher ideal, where that attention before it's fully on that higher ideal still has some claws back on that lower ideal of what's going to happen to me? Who's going to look out for me? What if I'm not getting credit for all of these things that I'm helping with? It is this divine discomfort that we must go through often as we continue to elevate the ideals in which we operate. An example that I think about so often when we can't go through that divine discomfort. Maybe it's the divine discomfort of, okay, I'm going to start toning up my body. I'm going to start taking much better care of my body. I live in my head all the time. Now I'm going to start living with a stronger foundation in my life with my body, instead of just, I know this so well, in my 20s, it was just all in my head. I paid so much attention to my mind and my mental well-being, my comforts, my professional pursuits, that I did not invest in my body, and ended up with just gnarly lower back pain for years because of a poor foundation. such a distraction from any of my mental or professional pursuits, including philosophical pursuits, because it hurt to sit down. It was a distraction in my quiet study each morning, much less during the rest of the day and being a parent of 3 little ones running around. But I remember our second born child, our daughter Marley. She loved her pacifier. And that pacifier, over time, her teeth started to come in, and the doctor looked at the wayward direction of her teeth coming in, all kinds of strange directions. And she said, all right, you got to stop using the pacifier. It's making her teeth come in all these weird directions, and you got to stop letting her use the pacifier. That pacifier, the utility of it is that it pacified her whenever she was crying. But it had this unintended effect of her developing around this pacifier, around this physical object, to where her teeth weren't coming in how they're supposed to. And I think about that example all the time when we reach for our pacifiers. What dysfunction is it causing in our natural wiring because we reach for social media to distract us, jump into our work because we can't sit quietly alone, reach for that extra snack because 3 meals a day, that structure is uncomfortable for us. What is that divine discomfort that you can't handle, you feel like you can't handle, that's causing all of these wayward byproducts, side effects in your life? We ended up taking the pacifier away from our daughter Marley, and within about 2 weeks, all of her teeth started to align, started to straighten out, and now they're perfect. It was such a short amount of time, and she didn't need the pacifier. She could pacify her own emotions without some external object. And this example, the reason I think about it so often is, what is standing in our way from our life straightening out? What are those pacifiers we reach for? Because maybe you think that divine discomfort is going to last forever. Maybe you think it's always going to be hard and terrible to go to the gym, to get a run in, to give 120% on that work project right in front of you. We think that that is discomfort, not knowing that our entire lives are being set up for far more discomfort, far more misalignment, because we don't know what's right on the other side of putting up with that initial discomfort, that divine discomfort. We don't know how much is going to straighten itself out almost immediately, within a few weeks, within a few months, if we can sit with that discomfort, knowing that it is for a higher ideal, and knowing that it is for our own proper alignment, proper function, versus immediate comfort and long-term dysfunction. That's today's daily reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.